a beautiful mid-October day here in South Shore, Nova Scotia. And you can see how close the seawater comes to front yards, houses, some of which has been here for 300 years or more. And it's weathered everything. It's weathered terrible winters and ferocious hurricanes, and all of our docks and many of our roads and our gardens are all right by the sea. In fact, it's that margin between the sea and the forests where all the birds feed and where the deer feed, and often where the mice feed that everything from the cats to the foxes live on. And we're just off high tide here, and you can probably see that it's about 1.5 meters or so to the top of that rock. So high tide is a little higher than this, about 0.5 meter, and an extra meter of sea level rise is right up to the top of that rock. Everything you see in sight is vulnerable. 1 meter sea level rise, and this is a bunch of small islands, and poor islands at that, minus all of their rich soil washed away, and eventually just a bunch of reefs. Storm or two and they're gone. So why am I telling you this? Well, it's because you in Guelph have a chance to elect Gord Miller as your Member of Parliament in this election. Now, Gord's been here. In fact, he's canoed with me over that flat water. And he's one of the very few people that I would trust to ferry me or my close friends and family across ocean water in a small canoe. That's not a small thing in Nova Scotia, where people know that the water can rise up and hit you hard by surprise. But there are other reasons to trust Gord. Gord protected bees from neonicotinoids in Ontario. He was instrumental in getting Ontario to ban strategic lawsuits against public participation. And he's just the kind of civil servant that you really want to have on your side. And he'll be an absolutely fantastic Member of Parliament. Someone that will quite possibly outshine Elizabeth May, who was voted the best constituency MP in the House. It's a good kind of competition the Greens have going to see if they can get better and better and better and better people into the House. Keep a watchdog on what might well be a Liberal majority government, and with Trans-Canada lobbyists running around inside it. I don't know what they want to do with that oil, but I'll tell you what they shouldn't do. They shouldn't let it spill here for 21 days without capping it. And bitumen, which is not oil, should be turned into something else, maybe plastics, electricity, something that doesn't have to be pumped to the coastlines to be sold or useful. But this is your choice in Guelph, and you can either decide to help along the process of destroying all of this and all of our lives on the Pacific, Atlantic, and Arctic coasts, or you can take a very different turn and send a message, but also voice, to Parliament in the form of Gord Miller. And I got to say, I'm really hoping you do that, because everything depends on it, really. The bees depend on it, the birds depend on it. The activists who fight and who speak up and the whistleblowers depend on it, because without anti-SLAPP legislation, they can be silenced with a form letter from a dirty law firm. So I hope you make the right choice in Guelph. I do. It's not entirely up to you to save the situation, but you've been put in an extraordinary situation of power. There's a lot of things you can do. If you feel like voting for some other party or other leader, you could pick up the phone and call somebody in a position to elect one of their MPs while you vote Green in Guelph. You could vote swap. And those of you who are decided, those of you who are undecided, can just make a choice to do something to reciprocate the trust that Greens all over Canada are being forced to put into Liberal or NDP MPs they have to vote for to remove Mr. Harper, who's almost seems intent on destroying all of this. So Miranda here and I would like you to save the bees and save the mice and save all this, and invite you to come visit sometime, because you deserve it. It's not just ours, it's yours too. Make sure to vote on October the 19th.